We are honored to be joined by two very important leaders in our state. Father Edwin Leahy is the headmaster of St. Benedict's Preparatory School in beautiful Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, and also Reverend Phillip Gilmore of St. John's Community Baptist Church, also in Newark. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.
We're taping on the 13th of January. It'll be seen later. Reverend Gilmore, let me ask you, the city of Newark, residents in the city disproportionately affected by COVID, obviously, for a variety of reasons. What message do you want to send folks right now about the vaccine and how safe it is and whether they should be getting it?
Thank you for having me, Steve. And I just got off a webinar with Newark Beth Israel Hospital, which you know that I am intimately connected with and have a great affection for and the work that they do. And I understand that there are many people who are fearful because of a variety of reasons, because of history, because they use the wrong phrase, they use warp speed. Nobody wants a vaccine that's on warp speed. So my message is really the premise that we need to start out with is that we have no knowledge that God has not allowed us to have. That's the first thing, right? Human beings cannot do anything knowledge-wise that God has not given us the knowledge to do. So we do have that assurance that what we do have and the knowledge and the technology that they've been using to develop this vaccine is something that has really been granted to us by God. And if we start with that premise, then we can move forward towards being educated as to what does the types of technology they have used, the RNA, how that has been effective and what that means. And that, look, there's been enough studies done that they know that the vaccine is not harmful to the vast majority of people. We still have to consult with our physicians.
Right.
But this is something that we should all be on board with. And as African Americans, understanding the history of, in a sense, being guinea pigs, we're not guinea pigs. Especially not this time, because
that's right.
Everybody's taking the vaccine.
Again, we're on tape on the 13th of January. So many things will be changing, but Father Edwin Leahy, your school in the heart of Newark, the student population largely Black and Hispanic, what message do you send not only to your students, but to their families, and what would you add to Reverend Gilmore's very eloquent and important statement?
Get vaccinated. That's what I would add. Get vaccinated. We did 2 nights of town hall meetings with physicians of ours that have gone to school with us, and then some others that we've had contact with. Every single physician that was on it, on the town halls, said, get vaccinated. The warp speed that the Rev referred to is distracting. This research on mRNA has been going on for 25 years. The pandemic has given us the opportunity to actually try it out, so to speak. That and this is not an injection of the virus like they do with flu shots. This is completely different. It sends a message to your RNA in your cells that gives you the antibodies to fight the virus. Absolutely get vaccinated. I got the first shot on the 3rd. I'm getting the next one on February 3rd.
So it's interesting, again, things are changing very quickly. But I've been asking people this question about public awareness. I mean, this campaign we're doing around, I shouldn't call it a campaign, it's an awareness initiative that tries to answer people's questions. But Reverend, let me ask you, as concisely as possible, Father Edwin said that he took the vaccine. How important do you believe it is for leaders in the African American and Hispanic community, particularly, who get the vaccine, to do it in a public way and send a statement?
I think it's of immense importance. People are looking towards us. I'm getting questions all the time as to whether or not I'll get the vaccine when it comes up. I let people know that I absolutely will. I have a son who has, severe, peanut allergy, and so we're trying to do more research as to whether or not it should be safe for him. but we're going to do everything we can possibly do because we know that the effects of getting the virus far outweighs any side effects of the vaccine. And this is what we have to get the people to understand.
Father Ed, let me ask you, should educators, and let me disclose that my son, Stephen, actually teaches, going into, I believe, his 4th year. He's in his 4th year of teaching at St. Benedict's Prep. Should educators, in your opinion, and I know there's public schools and then there are schools like yours, either way, both, whatever, should they be compelled to take the vaccine, in your opinion, Father Ed?
That's a great question, Steve. We're actually wrestling with that right now. Should our adults be vaccinated to protect themselves and to protect others in order to be able to work here? I think everybody should get it, and I can say this to folks watching that the registration, from the time I registered to the time I had a date to go, couldn't have taken more than a half hour on the computer. I went to get the vaccine. That whole experience at Essex County College gym, and I've spoken to other people in the county here in Essex who have done it in other sites in Essex County. That whole experience took me about a half an hour, 15 minutes of which was sitting in a chair waiting to see if I had any allergic reaction. So it was smooth, the people were great, and it took virtually no time.
And by the way, let's clarify that there's a statewide website. Father Ed talked about Essex County. We're going to have Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo will be part of this public awareness program we're doing. The CDC website will be up right now, followed by the state website, covid19.nj.gov/vaccine. We have about a minute or so left. Switch gears. Again, we date ourselves. 13th of January taping. Nothing to do with the vaccine, but I have to ask two very important leaders this question because we've been doing an ongoing series that the Reverend's been a part of called Confronting Racism. Reverend, January 6, 2021, the insurrection that took place in the Capitol. Again, we don't know what's going to happen after that. How much of that do you believe had to do with race?
I think, look, the fact that the perpetrators or the more aggressive ones were more than likely white supremacists. And the president has been tapping into that base since day one.
The president, as we do this program, not after the 20th of January. In fact, there's an impeachment vote going on as we speak today. I'm sorry, Reverend, please.
No, absolutely. President Trump has been tapping into that base from day one. I have no doubts that this is an effect from, it has a connection to racism. And let me just say this as well, is that as I've been pondering this, and what our response can be, as African Americans, I think we have a wonderful opportunity to throw our arms around someone who is feeling as if the system has failed them, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? The people who are rioting in a real sense believes falsely because of lies, but they believe that the system has failed them, and so they're frustrated. And so this is our opportunity to say, we understand your pain, and maybe we can find common ground to move forward to make the changes to the things that we all believe some changes need to be made to. So I think it's an opportunity for us, really.
Well said. 30 seconds left. Father, you are our family spiritual advisor. You always try to find the silver lining, and not a fake one. Where is the silver lining here, and where is the opportunity for us to make sense of moving forward regarding racism and race in this country?
A quick story. I learned this in Israel. Two Jewish men speaking to each other. One says to the other, Irv, do you love me? And Irv says back, yes, you know I love you, Mush. He says, well, do you know my suffering? And Irv answers, no, I don't know your suffering. He says, then how can you say you love me? Until we're able in this country to understand each other's sufferings, we're going to be flopping around like a fish on a dock, like we are right now. Understanding the sufferings of the other, understanding the reality of the other, and admitting and admitting how we've added to the sufferings of the other, right? I think that's important as well.
We needed that, Father Ed. We needed that, Reverend Gilmore. You honor us by joining us, and we thank you so much. Wish both of you and the communities you represent to be well in 2021 and be safe. All the best, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Adubato. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Johnson & Johnson, the North Ward Center, NJM Insurance Group, MD Advantage Insurance Company, and by Fedway Associates, Inc. Promotional support provided by ROINJ and by New Jersey Monthly.
NJM Insurance Company has been serving New Jersey policyholders for more than 100 years. But just who are NJM's policyholders? They're the men and women who teach our children, the public sector employees who maintain our infrastructure, the workers who craft our manufactured goods, and New Jersey's next generation of leaders, the people who make our state a great place to call home. NJM, we've got New Jersey covered.